Hello and welcome to this video, and I shall be giving you my thoughts on the songs for Luxembourg Song Contest 2025.
A disclaimer. Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. The shortest and simplest reason being that I find the actions of the Israeli government to be abhorrent and their broadcaster isn't a separate entity. My reasons in their entirety, however, are numerous and too detailed for a disclaimer like this, but videos closely aligning with my point of view are listed in the description. I encourage you to watch those videos and do something. Further resources are added as and when they become relevant. I'll stop addressing this when it no longer needs to be addressed.
This is the second edition ever. We've got 2 returnees, and obviously there'll be a lot of comparisons between last year's Luxembourg Song Contest and this year's, because that's the only one we've got to compare it to. I'm curious how the 2 years will compare and what my thoughts are on both of the returnees' new songs as compared to the other songs. How much more to say about it? I mean, it looks like we're not getting any Luxembourgish again, which is sad because Luxembourgish is a pretty funny language to a lot of people in Europe. I think it's a really cool language, but I think it'd be funny also to have a song in Luxembourgish. But yeah, doesn't seem like we're getting it. I'll come back to you once I've listened to the songs. I've given the 7 songs a listen now. 7 is a very nice number to listen to after the songs that Spain had released the day before, which was 16. I mean, more songs is good if you're enjoying the songs. But if you're not, a smaller number is nicer. Here, I did actually enjoy the songs on average more than Benidorm Fest, and I think quite a few I enjoyed more than any of the Benidorm Fest songs. So, well done, Luxembourg. I think this year the artists did get a little bit more creative freedom, or a lot more creative freedom to keep their own songs, which is exciting. That's the kind of thing that should be being fostered, not whatever they were doing last year. We did have a lot more English songs this year than last year from my memory. Maybe my memory isn't serving me, maybe it's just because we had a half French, half English song at actual Eurovision, but I prefer songs not in English. But I also get that for commercial success, you kind of almost always have to go with English. I think the songs overall are also slightly less generic than last year, maybe a little bit, but still very approachable to almost everybody, which is a pretty safe bet if you're just trying to re-establish yourself in Eurovision, I guess. I'm just gonna rip the plaster off and tell you that in my 7th spot I do have Human Eyes by Mana, who knows? I don't know right now, I'm so sorry. To me, it was well produced, but otherwise boring. The concept I found a bit weird and I did zone out. So unfortunately, I didn't really enjoy that much, but it's a nice song and maybe the staging could convince me to really enjoy it. I don't know. In my 6th spot, I've got Stronger by Rhythmics Always. I thought they were all gonna sing, which threw me a bit, but it's got some pretty epic brass instruments in it, and it's a soul song. It's not a genre that I listen to much, or almost at all, so I don't think I can judge it very well, but it seems like a good song in that genre. Just unfortunately, I've not had much exposure to it, so I don't really know how to process it upon my first listen to the studio version. In my 5th spot, I do have No Thank You by Raffaella. It feels like every single Eurovision dance break girly pop. It feels like it does belong in Eurovision. It doesn't inspire me. It could still have an epic staging though, and change my thought about it, but just the studio version does not convince me, unfortunately. In my 4th spot, I've got Ride by 0.5. Interesting band name, coming up at the end of almost all lists. This felt like a true radio hit from the early 2010s. Were there 2 singers? Did I just imagine that? I don't know. It's also got a tiny little element of piratiness about it. It was interesting. It's definitely easy listening that I don't think anybody would want to skip. In my 3rd spot, I've got Je Danse by Luxembourg. I was a little bit confused by it. There were moments where I thought it was kind of messy and I'm not sure if it worked, because messy can work or it can really not work. The chorus seemed too intense, is basically how it felt like. It was messy and mismatched. It's got some strange lyrics, but overall it seems cool. And it's like musical-esque, but also rappy at parts. It's very interesting. Don't think I can really put it in one genre. It's a very interesting song to have experienced and to soon see on a stage like Luxembourg Song Contest. In my 2nd spot, for the 2nd year running, I've got One Last Time. This time their song is called Gambler's Song. Feels a little bit like Brit punk maybe, almost. The lyrics are themed, but on my first listen, I'm very sorry, they sound a little bit empty. Like they were just written to fit the theme a lot of the time and not to tell a cohesive story within the song. That's very harsh criticism, but only because through these 2 Luxembourg Song Contest songs, I have been convinced that if One Last Time ever did come to Hamburg, I would be wanting to go to a show of theirs. I think they've proven to me that I like their vibes enough that I would definitely go to a show in Hamburg. The production was very, very cool on Gambler's song though, and I think the concept is good as a whole, and like 80 to 90% of the lyrics worked. There was just a few lines that bugged me, and the things that I enjoy, I want to be perfect. So I think I may be being a bit harsh, especially knowing they were my second spot last year as well. But I'm excited to see how this will go. I'm not exactly confident that this could do all that well in Luxembourg Song Contest without a great staging idea, which maybe they do now have because the song has a strong theme. I guess I just have higher expectations from the things that I really enjoy. And in my first spot is La Poupée Monte le Sang from Laura Thorne. Laura Thorne. I don't know how to pronounce it with a French accent. It's the first song I listened to, and I was really optimistic for Luxembourg Song Contest, and to be honest, I think rightfully so. I think most of the songs were genuinely really good for their own genres. It's got a great build and a great bass. It's orchestral, it's musical-esque. Laura's got a strong voice. The instrumental change-ups between the verses were brilliant. I loved to hear something like that. The production just really, really works for me. The only thing I would be complaining about is that the na-na-na lyrics felt unnecessary, but what can you do? That's how the song's been made. But that was definitely my favourite upon my first listen to just the studio versions. Now let's take a look at the community ranking on my original scoreboard. One Last Time is second to last, and 0.5 is last. Rhythmic Solway is 5th, Mana is 4th, Luzak is 3rd, just like in my ranking. Rafaela is in 2nd spot with the classic sounding Eurovision girly bob with a dance break, and Laura Thorne is winning by a fairly substantial margin, but the overall points discrepancy between first and last place isn't massive. It's about 5,000 points right now, which between 13,000 and 8,000, which isn't that massive. That tells me that there's a fairly strong selection of the 7 songs that different people are enjoying different amounts. Obviously with 7 songs you also only give out 4 to 12 points, so that can also mess with the distribution of points, because 4 is closer to 12 than 1 is to 12, obviously. So maybe it's not that the songs are all fairly equally well loved, maybe it is just the fact that there are 7 songs. But I enjoyed Luxembourg Song Contest 2025 songs, especially after listening to the Benidorm Fest ones. I'm optimistic for Luxembourg's future if they keep giving their contestants more creative freedom, and if they develop, because the production was also already epic for a first year hosting something like that, so I've got no qualms about the production. I'm excited to see what the performances will look like and what the stagings will be, but those are my thoughts just upon listening to the studio versions. If you've got any thoughts, please do let me know in the comments below. Literally like the video if you did like it, and share the video with someone else you think might enjoy watching it. Subscribe to my channel for more Eurovision 2025 and beyond content, and thank you ever so much just for watching the video itself. That's a great help as it is. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one and that shows up on your feed. Bye! Wiesz co to jest ostrożnie? Tak, ostrożnie.